Hey, everybody that wants to know about World War One. So me and Pac Dave and Pac Dan are kind of working together. Pac Dave's taking the lead. He's got a big podcast up and then that's kind of for everybody to listen to. I wanted my group to have a little intro here, um, and I just want to show you some stuff that I think is important about starting to think about World War One. Here's a picture of World War One. This is from an old lesson that I did. Map of Europe, totally different back in in that time. This is 100 years ago. We have the stuff that's in red here is kind of the Germany, Austria, Hungary, plus this Ottoman Empire, which is today called Turkey. You have Bulgaria there. Romania, where I used to live, you can see was it doesn't look the same at all as it is today. And there's this little country called Serbia in here. All those are super important, but this red area here, those guys kind of worked together, and then everybody else worked against them. Uh, the important stuff about World War One, in my mind, is how much of a new technology was used in the war, and it was kind of like old tactics plus new technology really increased the death count. And so World War One is the first war that has automobiles, airplanes, tanks, radios, machine guns, heavy artillery, poison gas, and submarines. Here's some pictures of World War One. The previous war that was fought in Europe was 40 years prior, and look at this. They didn't have cameras on the battlefield. It was like horses and cannons, and so it was a real turning point into the modern era to go from to get to this warship stuff, where in the previous war it looked like this. Um, so it's a big deal. As I like to say, World War One was fought with the power of fossil fuels, the strength of steel, and the precision of modern science and engineering. And so those things had never been used in war before. And certainly the introduction of those things really marked World War One as a huge uh, scar on humanity. It was massive in its impact. Trench warfare, which you'll hear a bunch about, where the sides kind of line up against each other. This is uh, some airplane footage of trenches, and you can see the network of trenches that was built. And this war didn't go anywhere. It was very difficult to dislodge the enemy. It doesn't mean they didn't try. And so there was a lot of poison gas and shelling and stuff that happened. This is kind of a map of the thing. The area between the trenches was called no man's land. And here you can see this cartoon, which is kind of shows guys on either side, no man's land being in the middle. Uh, Look at this. Like the bullets would like cut trees down. So like there was no way like in the old Napoleon days that you could lay on that much cannon fire to do stuff like cut a forest down. But with the modern technology that was used in World War One, it became possible. Now this picture was taken in I think Belgium, which is like in the nicest like countryside. This is what it looks like today. So it came back, but man, they ripped it apart. I mean, it looks like you know it looks like Mars almost, like in this picture. Like what are they? Like the moon. You can't even see anything. Like poison gas killed animals, killed plants. Just really nasty. Whole villages. So what do I got here? Tactics and technology. Armies use airplanes to gather information, shoot down enemy planes. U-boats, submarines were used. The tank was used. So this kind of stuff was a new deal. Massive battles, but that kind of resulted in a stalemate, which means nobody's winning. Here's some interest. We'll pass on this information. This picture here, the dude that the arrow is pointing at, that's Adolf Hitler. He was a soldier in World War One. He will make his leadership thing happen in World War Two, but World War One and World War Two are very closely related, and we will find out why in this in these sessions. So please listen to Pac Dave's long form podcast and see what you can get from that. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoy learning about this important